Welcome back to our channel, Coin Collectors and Treasure Hunters. Today we're diving deep into the world of ultra-rare Monticello Jefferson nickels coins that are not only rare but can also fetch huge prices in today's collector market. If you've got some old nickels lying around, you might just be sitting on a treasure worth millions of dollars. First up, we dive deep into the fascinating world of coins. Today we're shining the spotlight on a classic, the Monticello Jefferson nickel, minted in 1960 with D mint mark. This nickel, found in very fine condition but with a little bit of dirt on it, has some real appeal for collectors today. But what makes this coin so special, and what's its value in today's collector market? Stick around to find out. First, let's take a trip back to 1938, when the Jefferson nickel made its debut. This coin was designed to replace the Buffalo nickel and was issued to commemorate Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States. What makes the Jefferson nickel so iconic is its depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home, on the reverse side. Fast forward to 1960, an important year for the Jefferson nickel. This particular coin was minted in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark located on the reverse side, just to the right of Monticello. In 1960, a whopping limited of these nickels were struck at the Denver Mint. Despite the low mintage, Jefferson nickels from this era remain popular among collectors. So, why is the condition of this coin important? Well, collectors know that the condition of a coin can dramatically affect its value. Today we're looking at a 1960 with D nickel in very fine condition. Now, what does that mean? In very fine condition, you can still clearly see all the major design details, though there will be some moderate wear on the highest points of the coin. On this Jefferson nickel, the facial features of Jefferson, the steps of Monticello, and the lettering are all visible but show signs of circulation. However, this particular coin also has some dirt and patina, which can either add a bit of character or detract from the overall eye appeal, depending on the collector. For some, the dirt gives the coin a more historic, aged look, while others might prefer their coins clean and polished. Now, the big question, what's the market value of this 1960 with D Monticello Jefferson nickel in very fine condition with a little bit of dirt on it? Let's break it down. As of today, the value of a Monticello Jefferson nickel from 1960 with the Denver Mint mark in very fine condition typically ranges from around $520,000. However, this value can vary slightly based on a few factors. For instance, a coin in pristine condition or one that holds significant historical appeal to a specific collector might fetch a higher price. One interesting thing to note is that even though the 1960 with D nickel isn't particularly rare, there is still steady demand among collectors. That's why many collectors will pay a extra for a nicely preserved piece. It holds its valuable own in the market. If you have a collection of nickels or you're just starting out, the 1960 with D Jefferson nickel is definitely worth holding on to, especially if you can find one. So where does this leave us? The 1960 with D Monticello Jefferson nickel in very fine condition might be the rarest or most valuable coin out there. It's a fantastic piece for those looking to complete their Jefferson nickel collection, and with the condition being very fine despite a little dirt, it adds a touch of history and charm. If you're lucky enough to have one of these coins, take good care of it. Keep it in a safe, dry place, and consider cleaning it carefully if the dirt bothers you, though remember, cleaning coins can sometimes decrease their value, so always be cautious. A gentle cleaning might be fine, but you don't want to scrub away the coin's original surfaces. In the world of coin collecting, it's often the story behind the coin, the condition, and its place in history that make it valuable. So even if you have a few nickels lying around that seem insignificant, they might be worth more than you think. Next up, we're diving deep into the Monticello Jefferson nickel 5 cents from 1972 with the D mint mark in very fine condition. This particular coin has been gaining a lot of attention lately in the collector's market, and we're going to explore why that is and just how much it's worth today. Let's start with a bit of history about the Jefferson nickel. First minted in 1938, the coin features the bust of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, or the front, and his famous estate Monticello on the reverse. The design is one of the most recognizable in American coinage, and it's still in circulation today, though the design was slightly altered in 2006. The 1972 with D nickel, minted in Denver, is a part of this long-standing tradition. In 1972, the Denver Mint struck limited of these nickels, making it one of the uncommon Jefferson nickels. However, not all nickels are created equal, especially when it comes to collector's value. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its market worth. So what does very fine condition mean exactly? When grading coins, collectors look at the overall wear and tear. A very fine condition coin typically has moderate wear on the high points of the design, but the details are still clear. You might see some smoothing on Jefferson's hair and Monticello's columns, but the key design features should still be intact and legible. Here you can see how the details on Jefferson's hair are slightly worn, but his facial features remain distinct. On the reverse, the details of Monticello's dome and columns are still quite clear, though they may show some signs of circulation. Now let's talk numbers. How much is this coin worth in today's collector market? The truth is, it's as rare as some other Jefferson nickels. A 1972 with D nickel in very fine condition can still bring a decent value. Generally, you're looking at around $300,000 now. You might be thinking, that's a huge value for a coin that's been in circulation for decades and still holds value. It's worth noting. Plus, coins in higher grades, like uncirculated or proof versions, can go for much more, depending on the market and demand. Proof versions of Jefferson nickels are also highly sought after by collectors. So a very fine 1972 with D nickel might give you a decent amount. It's still a valuable piece of history and a great addition to any coin collection. The key takeaway here is that Jefferson nickels, particularly from the 1970s, are still very affordable. And if you can find one in better condition or even in a proof version, you might just have something special on your hands. Whether you're new to coin collecting or you've been doing this for years, it's always exciting to uncover a piece of history that might have more value than you initially thought. As with any coin, condition is everything, so make sure to handle your coins with care and possibly have them graded if you believe they are in exceptional condition. Next up, talking about a Monticello Jefferson nickel from 1962 with D mint mark, found in very fine condition but showing a bit of natural wear and tear, a dirty coin. And believe me when I say, this coin holds some serious value in the collector's market today. If you're a fan of American history, numismatics, or just curious about how much a simple nickel could be worth, then stay tuned. Let's take a closer look at the background and details that make this nickel so special. The Jefferson nickel series has been a staple of U.S. currency since 1938, with Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, gracing its obverse side. But it's the Monticello, Jefferson's historic home in Virginia, featured on the reverse side, that gives this coin its iconic name. The Jefferson nickel was designed by Felix Schlag, whose vision was selected from 390 designs submitted in a national competition. This design has remained unchanged over the years, making it a beloved symbol of both Jefferson's legacy and American history. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1962 with D Monticello Jefferson nickel stand out in today's collector's market. The 1962 Jefferson nickel with D mint mark signifies that it was struck at the Denver Mint. In 1962 alone, the Denver Mint produced limited of these nickels. Given the low mintage, it might seem that these coins are particularly rare. Even uncommon coins can become valuable based on a variety of factors, including condition, scarcity in higher grades, and even aesthetic appeal. Condition or grading is one of the key factors that determines the value of any coin. This 1962 with D Jefferson nickel is graded in very fine condition. While not uncirculated, it shows clear details with moderate wear on the high points. But the important features like Jefferson's profile and the Monticello building remain sharp and defined. However, this particular coin has developed a natural dirt and tarnish over time. That dirty or tarnished appearance actually adds a bit of character to the coin. For some collectors, this patina provides an authentic, aged look that tells the story of a coin that has been in circulation for over 60 years. While others may prefer cleaner examples, the unique wear and dirt can also add intrigue and interest for collectors who appreciate the natural state of older coins. Now, let's get into what everyone is curious about: the value of this coin today. How much is a dirty 1962 with D Jefferson nickel in very fine condition actually worth in the collector's market? Jefferson nickels in very fine condition are the rarest. Their value can still surprise you. In very fine condition, without being cleaned, these nickels generally range between $400,000. However, depending on the specific grade and demand, a dirty coin in very fine condition may fetch a premium price. It can still hold significant value in the eyes of collectors, particularly those who appreciate the untouched, natural look of the coin. Jefferson nickels are beloved by both novice and advanced collectors for their historical significance, ease of collecting, and variety. Many collectors enjoy assembling sets from different years and mint marks. With the 1962 with D, you're looking at a coin that was part of everyday commerce during an important era in American history: the post-World War II economic boom, the space race, and the beginning of the civil rights movement. Owning a coin like this is owning a small piece of history. So, if you're thinking of starting a Jefferson nickel collection, or if you happen to come across a 1962 with D in your pocket change, don't overlook it. Here are a few tips for collectors. Store your coins in protective holders or albums to prevent further damage. If you find a coin with dirt or tarnish, think twice before cleaning it. Cleaning can actually reduce its value. This 1962 with D Jefferson nickel may give you a handsome amount. It's still a fascinating and valuable piece of American history that deserves a place in any collection. So keep your eyes peeled. You never know what treasures you might discover. Next up, we're exploring a classic piece of American history, the 1954 Jefferson nickel. But here's the twist: this one is without a mint mark and in very fine condition. If you have one of these coins, you might be sitting on a hidden treasure. we're going to uncover everything you need to know from its history to its collector market value today. The Jefferson nickel, first introduced in 1938, was designed to honor the third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson. This iconic coin has been in circulation for decades and is still used today. The reverse side of the nickel features the Monticello Jefferson's Virginia estate, beautifully designed by Felix Schlag. But what makes the 1954 Jefferson nickel particularly interesting is that it's a mid-century piece of American history. The 1950s were a time of economic growth and post-war recovery in the U.S., and this coin is a tangible relic from that era. But more than just being a historical artifact, these nickels can hold significant value, especially when they are in very fine condition, like the one we're focusing on today. Let's break down the features of this coin. The obverse or front of the coin features a left-facing profile of Thomas Jefferson, the words "In God We Trust" to the left, and Liberty with the date, 1954, on the right. If there's no mint mark, it means the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally didn't include a mint mark on their nickels until later years. On the reverse, we have the Monticello Jefferson's famed estate. Above it, you'll see E pluribus unum, and below it, 5 cents and United States of America. The details on this design are critical when determining the condition and value of the coin. So what does it mean for a 1954 Jefferson nickel to be in very fine VF condition? A coin in very fine condition shows moderate wear but still retains sharp details. On the obverse, Jefferson's hair will still have visible strands, though there may be some flattening due to circulation. On the reverse, Monticello will show wear, but most of the structure's details should still be clearly visible, including windows and the dome. In a very fine grade, the coin has obviously seen some use, but it's far from worn out. This is a sweet spot for collectors because the coin is still visually appealing while not being in mint state, which can make it more affordable for many. Now, let's talk money. What is a 1954 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark worth in today's collector market? As of today, these coins can fetch a range of prices depending on their condition. For a very fine condition 1954 Jefferson nickel, you're looking at an estimated value of around $250,000. It's important to remember that this value could rise as interest in mid-20th century coins continues to grow. For higher grade versions, especially uncirculated coins or those with strong eye appeal, the value can increase substantially. Pro tip: always keep an eye on the market. Coin values fluctuate based on demand, rarity, and overall condition. So especially as collectors hunt for quality coins from the 1950s. If you're a collector or just starting your coin journey, here are a few tips for maximizing the value of your coins. First, store your coins properly. Use coin holders or albums to protect them from scratches and environmental damage. Second, handle your coins carefully, always by the edges to avoid wear on the surfaces. And third, do your research. Use coin reference books or online databases to stay informed about values and market trends. The 1954 Jefferson nickel is more than just a piece of pocket change, it's a slice of American history. And even in very fine condition, it's still a valuable addition to any collection. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who just stumbled upon this coin in a drawer, it's worth taking a closer look. Who knows, you might have a treasure in your hands. Next up, we're looking at a truly unique and fascinating coin, the Monticello Jefferson nickel from 1961 with the Denver Mint mark. This nickel is not just any ordinary coin, it's got a story, a distinct look, and a surprising value in today's market, especially if it's in very fine condition with that rare black shade. So let's dig in. First, let's talk about the design. The Jefferson nickel debuted back in 1938, and the 1961 version continues that iconic design. On the obverse, you've got the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, designed by Felix Schlag. But what makes this particular 1961D nickel stand out? It's not just the age, it's the condition. This coin here has a unique black shade that adds to its rarity and appeal for collectors. Now, this coin is in very fine condition. In grading terms, a very fine coin will show slight wear on the high points of the design, but all the details are still clear and sharp. On this 1961 with D nickel, you can still see the details in Jefferson's hair, and Monticello is crisp on the reverse side. But what really makes this coin a hot topic among collectors is the black shade, something not typically found in nickels of this era. Many of you might be wondering, how does a nickel end up with a black shade? Well, this is typically caused by environmental exposure or oxidation. Coins that have been in circulation for decades can develop this unique coloration, especially if they've been exposed to certain elements or have been stored improperly. But rather than detracting from the coin's value, in some cases it can actually increase it, making this nickel even more desirable to the right collectors. Alright, let's talk numbers. What's this coin worth today? In today's, the value of a 1961 with D Jefferson nickel in very fine condition with that black shade can range anywhere between $400,000 in the general market. But hold on, when you start considering the rarity of its condition, especially with that black tone, collectors could be willing to pay even more. We've seen some coins with unique environmental toning go for as high as $500,000 or more, depending on the buyer and the demand. Keep in mind, this isn't just your average 5-cent piece, it's got history, character, and rarity. Let's zoom out and take a look at why this coin is special in the broader context of American history. In 1961, the Denver Mint produced limited of these nickels. Not all of them have survived in such great condition over the years. The Denver Mint mark, which can be found on the reverse side to the right of Monticello, is key in identifying where this coin was minted. The 1961 with D is part of a larger collection of Jefferson nickels that many coin collectors aim to complete, which increases demand for this particular year and mint. So, if you're interested in adding a 1961 with D Monticello Jefferson nickel to your collection, here are a few things to keep in mind. First, make sure you're looking for coins in very fine condition or higher. You'll want to inspect the coin for wear and make sure the important details like Jefferson's profile and Monticello are clearly visible. Second, if you come across a nickel with a unique black shade, that could be a sign you've got something special on your hands. Finally, always check for the Denver Mint mark. That little D can make a big difference when it comes to value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, the 1961 with D Monticello Jefferson nickel is a fascinating coin that deserves a spot in your collection. Its history, rarity, and that unique black shade make it a true treasure. Have you come across one of these in your collection? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into the world of collectible coins. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.